Hey guys, it's PhilosopherKing. My opponent this time is I Love Justin Bieber, who really surprises me because I've never known anyone who loves Justin Bieber. I'm surrounded by hardcore musicians, and they don't really like him. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people like him, so he must do something right. Right? I'll leave that for you to decide. But anyway, back to Pokemon. Explosion is my opponent's first move, and it takes out my Metagross. And yeah, usually an opponent does that when they really need to take out the bulky water, and that doesn't work out for my opponent. So we'll see how that affects the game. Coon comes in the answer. Stormy comes in the answer for my opponent. That prompts me to switch my Snorlax. Stormy goes for Thunder Wave, and on the switch to his Snorlax, I get parried. So yeah, I mean, return would have probably done a good chunk to the Snorlax, but I'm going to have to switch out either way. And I have a Celebi, which can take on pretty much any Snorlax, but not this Snorlax apparently. Double Edge connects and does a ton. It looks like it's a Choice Banded Lax, although it may be carrying some sort of berry, or maybe even carrying Rest, or Chesto Berry. It might be a Chesto Resto Lax with Double Edge, but given the amount of damage Double Edge does, I'm thinking it's a Choice Banded Lax. But I decided to go for Recover in anticipation of a switch. My opponent goes for Thunder Wave. I'm not sure why. Maybe banking more on Hacks. I'm not sure. Celebi is a natural cure poke, and Hacks does kick in for my opponent. I don't get to do anything as my opponent switches, and I get paralyzed again, but I don't think the second one mattered. Because Self-Destruct takes my Celebi out, and I doubt Psychic or Leech Seed would have done it there. So yeah, it's a 4-4 game. I answer with Coon. My opponent answers with Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl goes for Toxic, so it's a very unusual set. I go for Surf, and it should do 85% once the replay wants to work. So yeah, I do 85%. My opponent gets a Lychee Berry boost. So it's a very interesting set, but I won't get to see its complete move set because I take it out next turn. And T-Tar is his next Pokemon, so he's going to attempt to sweep here. I go for a Surf, and it only does a measly 40%. What is going on here? So it's not, and it has Dragon Dance, so it's not like a bulky T-Tar or anything like that. It's not like one of those bulky subsets. It's a Dragon Dance set with a lot of special defense investment apparently. So yeah, I try to take it out with Earthquake. My logic was, hey, it has lots of special defense investment. That must mean it must not have that much defensive investment. So I tried to take it out with Earthquake, but in hindsight, that logic was flawed. T-Tar has a pretty good size base defense stat. So I mean, but at that point I was pretty much desperate. I mean, what was I going to bring in? Salamence? Stormy? Stormy doesn't have a water type move. And at +1, I mean, even at neutral damage, my Salamence would take a beating, and I don't think I would win that battle 1-1. So I think Snorlax was the way to go. And it's so it has Substitute 2 and Dragon Dance, and it has a weird EV spread. I mean, my team's completely thrown to the side. It does not know what to do. I don't know what to do. My opponent goes for Dragon Dance again. I break the sub with Earthquake, but my opponent's at +1/+2. I go to Stormy. Thunderbolt does connect, and I thought it would take it out, but unfortunately the special defense on the T-Tar is preventing that from happening. So my Stormy dies. I bring Salamence in to get the Intimidate off. But yeah, even at neutral attack, it's gonna do a ton. Fortunately, my opponent does not get a flinch, and I take it out with Earthquake next turn. Starmie is the remaining poke, but I do have a Snorlax, though it's at half health, and and it's paralyzed. And unfortunately, I do get paralyzed next turn. My opponent reveals it has Hydro Pump. So unless he misses with Hydro Pump, which he does, so I mean, in that situation, he was likely to win, but he misses, so that allows me to take it out with Self-Destruct. And unfortunately, whatever chance I had just went out the window because he reveals the poke he hasn't shown yet, and that's Salamence. And since mine's low on health, I mean, there's absolutely no chance I could win here. Maybe if we were both at full health, we could have ourselves a little final duel, but I mean, now it's just picking up the scraps and just destroying me. So I think Justin Bieber is going to win this, barring some incredible hacks. So we'll see. And I mean, yeah, he's faster, so even if we were both at full health, he would have a huge advantage. So yeah, my opponent wins this one 1-0. And despite the paralysis, I'm not really sure it really mattered. Maybe if I didn't get parried twice, +1, I would have gotten +1 with Calm Mind boost in the first pair with my Celebi, with the Stormy, when the Stormy was in, and then when he switched to the Snorlax, I would have gone for Psychic and would have done a ton. And if you went for Double Edge again, you would have had went for Double Edge like he did originally. You would have taken a ton of recoil damage. So maybe it mattered, but I don't think it did. And my opponent surprised me with a completely original EV spread. So I mean, I'll admit defeat. So congratulations. But anyway, rate, comment, subscribe, and look forward to the next battle.